Hi, I'm Movie Man. I'm an octopus who reviews movies, and today's review is going to be on.
That's your spider!
I heard about this film alright. I saw the trailer for it, and I thought it looked good enough. I thought it looked like a decent comedy horror flick. Um, so the film released there in Ireland nearly a week ago now, and I went to see it a few days ago, and having seen the film for myself, what do I think? In my opinion, I think this movie is okay. Yeah, it wasn't exactly a great film in my opinion, but for what it was, I thought it was okay. I fairly enjoyed it. So to get into my thoughts on this film, to start things off, the cinematography in this movie is actually quite good. Um, like I mean, the film is set in this New York apartment during a snowy blizzard, and I think the cinematography, it does a good job of kind of capturing like kind of the confined space inside the apartment. And there's a few wide shots in here which I think are actually very good. And yeah, I think it does a really good job of kind of getting like that whole kind of creepy atmosphere done quite well. So yeah, I think the cinematography in the movie is good. The editing in this film, I think, is pretty solid as well. Like, I think it is some genuinely good editing. And like, I think it's done well. I think it's a well edited movie, and I think pretty much all these kind of sequences are edited pretty well. So yeah, I think the editing in here is quite good. Um, Now the pace in this film, not exactly that great in my opinion. Like, this isn't really a very long movie. It's only 92 minutes long. Which I think, you know, is an alright runtime for a film like this. Something like this doesn't really need to be too long. I think this is a perfectly okay runtime for a movie like this. But I mean, to be honest, even for a short enough runtime, I kind of felt that like the pacing in this movie was a bit too quick. Like, I don't know. Um, I kind of just felt like the movie was kind of rushing a little bit too much at points, and like there were kind of some scenes where you kind of felt like they were happening a bit sooner than they should have been happening. So yeah, I mean, it's not like the worst pacing I've ever seen, but yeah, I don't really think it was great, so yeah, I think the movie could have been paced a bit better, honestly. As for the sound and music in the film, I think like the sound effects are pretty well done. Like the sounds that this spider is making, they can make for like some genuinely kind of like creepy sounds. Yeah, I think like that part's done pretty well. As for the music in the film, I think the movie has a pretty solid score. It's not particularly a great score, but like it's kind of creepy enough. I think it goes with the respective scenes pretty well, and yeah, it can be genuinely kind of creepy, kind of guess like the tone of the scene pretty well. So yeah, I think the score in this movie is all right. So yeah, the sounds and music overall is pretty solid. And now we get to the characters and the performances from the cast. So starting things off, we have our main protagonist in this film, Charlotte. Guess just because it's a horror movie about a spider and her name is Charlotte. Yeah, but anyways, Charlotte was actually a pretty good protagonist. Like I thought she was a good character. I kind of liked what the movie did with her character, kind of how she was portrayed. I think like she's a realistic kid character. And yeah, I do think we can kind of get with her well, and she was a genuinely interesting character. And she's played in this film by Alyla Browne, and if that name sounds familiar to you, then it should, because she's the very same actress who, the week before I saw this film, played young Furiosa. Yeah, she's in this film the week after Furiosa. And apparently she's also going to be in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 later this year, so that'll definitely be interesting. But yeah, I thought she gave a very good performance in this. Once again, just like in Furiosa, she kind of gets to show off her chops as like a young action star, and yeah, I think she did a very good job here. So yeah, I liked her character. I thought she gave a good performance. Another character of the film heavily focuses on is like her stepfather, Ethan. And like it's kind of established that her and Ethan kind of have a bit of a mixed relationship with each other. I mean, it's not exactly the most original thing, you have kind of seen it before, alright, but I do think it is well done here, for the most part, and Ethan himself is an alright character. Like, I feel like we could have easily just made him kind of an annoying character, but he was alright though. I did like his kind of dynamic with Charlotte. I thought his actor Ryan Corr did a pretty good performance. So I liked him. The mother character I thought was alright, but I don't know, she wasn't like a particularly very interesting character. We could have done something more interesting with her character. We have a fair few supporting characters in this, and like none of them are really all that great or very memorable, but you know, they're all right for the screen time that they have. Like, to be fair, you can kind of tell alright, like, who's gonna get it, who Sting is gonna kill. But like, I mean, they serve their roles in the plot fine enough. But yeah, none of them are really all that great characters. We have Jermaine Fowler in this as one of them. He's in this as Frank, who is an exterminator. Of course, this isn't his first horror comedy, as last year he was in The Blackening, and I thought he was good in The Blackening. I thought he was a standout. I found him funny in that movie, and in this film he's quite funny here too. He definitely does have some good laughs, alright. But I don't know, I feel like maybe the film kind of could have done like kind of more with his character. Like, he was good for the screen time he got, but I don't know, I feel like we could have done like a bit more with him, honestly. Although I will say, out of all the human characters, the best one, the one who was like the standout out of the supporting cast, was the grandmother character. I did not expect to like the grandmother character that much, because I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought she was quite funny. Like, she definitely had like some of the best laughs in the film. And then we have the titular spider himself, Sting. And I think that Sting makes for quite a solid horror movie monster. Like, he's definitely very creepy, most when he's very small, and then as the film goes on, when he starts like getting bigger and stuff, he's definitely quite a good horror movie monster in these. And you know, the film actually does kind of like keep him in the shadows for a good bit of it, especially when he gets bigger, which, you know, is what you're meant to do. It's the Jaws rule, not showing your monster until like the third act. The movie did a very good job with it here. Sting is small at the start of the film, and he's just a small little spider. You know, they do like visual effects for him. It's like a little CGI, and to be fair, you can kind of tell, you know, he's not actually there. It's kind of obvious that it's CGI, but to be fair, it's actually not like that bad. Like, I to be honest, I have actually seen worse than that. And Sting is a much bigger spider. actually like a practical effects, like it's like the practical effects used to make the bigger thing are actually genuinely really good. Now like we don't get to see it very much, it's kind of in the shadows for most of it, but for all we do get to see of it, I do think it genuinely looks really impressive. So yeah, Sting is definitely a good new addition to the list of horror movie monsters. So yeah, I think the characters kind of a mixed bag. Alright, but there was kind of a few standouts, but most of them were kind of just okay. But the acting in the film was genuinely good. I thought pretty much everyone gave a solid enough performance. No one did a particularly very bad job. Plot of the movie, the film does have, a cool horror concept, with like, you've got this little spider and this girl takes care of him, starts feeding him like little cockroaches, then next thing, he starts getting bigger and starts going around killing people. Yeah, it does make for a genuinely cool concept, and I'd say for the most part the film did like a pretty solid job of it. Like I think it goes through the motions well. So the final act shows out. I think it's done pretty well here. Homage to like kind of all those like monster films from like some decades prior. Yeah, it does genuinely well with it. And of course, this is a horror comedy too. And I think the comedy here is pretty well done. Like it's not like very funny, but there is some decent humor in here. It can be kind of a funny film at points. As well as having a bit of that creep factor to it. I think it's pretty well done, honestly. And of course, we kind of get like kind of the whole human story with the young girl Charlotte and her stepfather. Like kind of a bit in there to kind of kind of adds a bit of depth to the film, kind of help make you care about our main characters more. And well, I don't think it was the best execution of something like it. I think it was done pretty well. So yeah, I would say that like the plot of this film, for what like it sets out to do, I thought it did it pretty well. I thought it executed the concept pretty well. So yeah, I'd say the plot of the movie was pretty solid. And then as for the narrative structure in this film, like kind of the main plot of the film is with Sting the spider. Like I think that's definitely like a really engaging plot. Like I like the way it kind of builds up throughout the film. The way it does it, I think, is pretty well done. It's genuinely pretty engaging to watch. But also we have kind of the whole subplot with Charlotte and Ethan and kind of some of the stuff going on there. And again, not the strongest execution, but I do think it kind of helps you care about the characters a bit more. And yeah, I think it's done pretty well here. I think it kind of fits in with the whole plot with Sting well, again helping you care more about the characters. It doesn't take you out of the film or with Sting or anything what it does overall pretty well. And you kind of have a bit more going on in here with kind of some other characters, what the movie doesn't really focus on too much. It's mainly just Charlotte and Ethan, and then everything going on with Sting. Overall, while it may not be like that, like the tightest narrative structure, it's solid enough. I think what it does is pretty okay. So yeah, it's a solid narrative structure. So overall, Sting was a pretty okay movie. Like, it's got good cinematography. There's some pretty good characters. There's good acting. It has like a really cool like monster with some good practical effects. There's some pretty good kind of gory kills in here as well. Also, I will say, and like, yeah, I think it executes the concepts pretty well, and it's a fun horror to watch. Now, it's not like a great film or anything. It's not one that I'd be like rushing to rewatch, but for what this is, it's an okay movie. And like, if you love like all kind of horror, kind of monsters and spider movies, I'd say this is definitely worth a one-time watch. But if you suffer from arachnophobia or entomophobia, then I do not recommend this one, because this film will not help you overcome your fears. But yeah, it's an okay film, and you know, I'm pretty glad I checked it out. So with that, I am going to give Sting a 6 out of 10. So with that, I'll see you guys next time, and bye.